I'm Mr. MegaManFan, and today on the PC Engine Files, we're taking a look at Battle Lode Runner, which is an anomaly among PC Engine games as it became the first Japan exclusive game to be available on the Wii Virtual Console in April 2007. Now, there's a pretty good reason for that. Battle Lode Runner doesn't have any Japanese that would prevent you from playing the game if you're not able to read it. It's all in English. And it is, in fact, an adaptation of a video game series which started in the United States and became hugely popular on personal computers in the 1980s. I'm one of those kids who grew up playing Lode Runner on a Commodore 64 computer, loved the ever-loving heck out of it, would play it to death, would edit my own levels, would do so much within the game, with the game, loved the game. Now, Battle Lode Runner supports up to 5 players via a multi-tap, but I can't show you that via emulation here, and I'm not sure I could even show you that on the actual TurboGrafx 16 that I have running Super SD System 3. I think I have a multi-tap around here somewhere, but I don't have 5 controllers, so there would just be no way to do it even with the multi-taps. So let's just take it for granted that this was an innovative version of Lode Runner that had multiplayer functions where you could work cooperatively or against the other players. In fact, let me just read from this Wikipedia entry. In survival, the last remaining player wins. In escape mode, the first person to collect the secret gold, unlock the ladder, and escape wins. In tag match, players form teams and attempt to trap the members of the other team. So yes, cooperatively and competitively, Battle Lode Runner offers both of those functions. But for the purpose of this video, I am just showing you the basic exploration levels where you have to get all of the gold in the level and get out of the level. There's no timer. You can solve it any way you want, take as long as you want, but you have to collect all the gold in the level in order for the secret ladder to appear that will lead you out of the game, which, to my memory, is consistent across all versions of Lode Runner I played as a kid. Apple II, Commodore 64, VIC-20, etc., etc. Not all of them had all of the levels, not all of them had a level editor, but all of them had this very simple premise: collect the gold, avoid the enemies, escape. Now, one of the ways that you can survive in this game is by digging holes which will trap the enemies that are chasing you. Now, if you're standing on a steel block like just was there, you can't dig through those. But if you're standing on bricks, you can dig holes and the enemies fall into it. They will get out of the holes given enough time, but if you dig multiple holes, they'll get out of one and fall right into the next one, and eventually the holes fill back in and they'll die. Or if you dig a hole way before they get there and they fall into it and it's just about to fill up, they die. They regenerate, of course. They drop down from the top of the screen back into the playfield, and there is a certain adaptive play style you can use based on them falling back into the playfield because they move in patterns based on where you are in the level. They will traverse the ladders and the ropes to get to you based on where you are. So you can kind of lead them along, and you can lead them into traps and set those traps so that they are cleared out of the way. They can also pick up the gold as they traverse through the levels, so sometimes you can use that to your advantage by having them pick up the gold, digging a trap for them, and then waiting until they fall into the trap to collect that gold. There is a wide variety of ways to play a Lode Runner, whether it's Battle Lode Runner on PC Engine, or the original computer versions, or even the NES port that exists for the game. It's just a marvel of strategic puzzle playing, arcade fun action. I don't think this ever would have been an arcade, but I would say it's got that franticness of an arcade game where you would want to keep pumping quarters into it to keep going because you'd be unsatisfied if you almost completed a level, made a mistake, and died, and you'd be like, no, you'd pump another quarter in to get right back into the action and keep playing. So Kind of surprising that it never made it to arcades. I would have tried to port it if I was Broderbund, which was the publisher of the game. The designer of the game, famously, is Doug Smith. He originally was making a port of Donkey Kong for a VAX computer, VAX terminals, and later tried to port it to Apple II, coding it all in assembly in one weekend. His first version of it, which was called Miner at the time, was rejected, and he retooled it, added some animated graphics and some more levels, and renamed it Lode Runner. And then he submitted it to 4 publishers, including Broderbund, and got 4 letters telling him they wanted to publish his game. But he went with Broderbund because that was the one that he first expressed interest in publishing with. So it is a very historically important game, and also a very popular series in Japan, which has had far more ports than any versions in North America to consoles. We've got a lot of PC ports of Lode Runner, but in Japan they've got even more home console ports, and maybe I'll cover those in the future. But for now, Mr. MegaManFan signing out.